Hello there. This is a video about my guitars. Over the years I've had several questions and queries about the guitars that I use, how I got them, what I use them for, what strings I use, and also questions about what to look for when buying a guitar. So I thought I'd try and combine all those things into one video and answer some of the questions I've been asked, and to demonstrate my guitars, how I got them, what I use them for, and so on. And I hope you find the video useful. I ought to say that I am not a collector of guitars. I started playing in 1964, and that's about 52 years ago. And I've had many guitars pass through my hands since then. But money and space have dictated to me that I only now have guitars that I use. I'm not a collector, I'm a player. And if I don't have a guitar that I play, I don't really want it. I haven't got the space for it, and it's money tied up that I'm not using. So I'm quite practical about it. I regret selling every guitar I've sold. I wish I had them all, but I couldn't keep them all. The other thing I ought to say is that what you see on YouTube is mainly me playing acoustic guitar. And I've started off playing acoustic guitar, but for over 30 years, I spent most of my time playing in bands with electric guitars. So I've had a Les Paul, a Strat, a G&L, Assat, a Hofner Very Thin, Gibson SG briefly, copy of a Flying V, Fender Mustang, all sorts of very interesting guitars, some better than others. And now I'm down to 2 electric guitars mainly. And that's because I don't do as much rock and roll or funk or whatever. I play a bit of jazz, acoustic and electric, and I play in a Ceilidh band, and I play in folk music sessions and so on. So I've basically gone back from about 2006 onwards. I've gone back mainly towards playing acoustic guitar. Anyway, strings. Let me talk about strings. I use Elixir NanoWeb coated strings. I don't use the Polyweb. I find them a bit too greasy and funny with all the various fibres being coated. So I use the NanoWeb with a single coating, and I use those because ordinary bronze strings I can kill with hand acid in a morning. I just get through strings like nobody's business. So a set of Martin Phosphor bronze, which I used to use, is dead in 3 or 4 hours of playing. So when Elixir coated strings came along and I tried them out, I thought, wow, they're fantastic. They're twice as expensive, but they last 4, 5, 6 times longer. So in the end, the economics are worth it. I'm not forever changing strings. So those are the strings that I use in various gauges on the various guitars that I play. What to look for in buying a guitar is the next topic that comes to mind. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the name on the headstock is interesting, but it's not as important as 2 things. One, how does the guitar sound? Does the guitar sound like you want it to sound? Has it got the tone you want? Has it got the volume you want? Has it got the projection you want? These are things that only you can answer, but to me that's one of the most important qualities. The other thing that's important for me is playability. What does it feel like to play? When you strap it on or you hold it over your knee or whatever, is it comfortable? Do you feel happy playing it? Is the fret the right width? Is it the right thickness? Is it the right length? Do you feel happy with it? Is the action okay? Some of these 2 things can be changed, but fundamentally you've got to feel happy with the guitar. It can look like the most gorgeous thing in the world and be unplayable. So looks are important, and budget is important, of course. You can only buy what you can afford. But if you can get a guitar that sounds good and feels really comfortable to play, then it's a winner as far as I'm concerned anyway. And that's what I look for when I'm buying a guitar. As I said, I've had Gibsons and Fenders and Martins and Larrivees and all sorts of guitars. And it's not the name on the headstock that matters. it's what you actually play. So it's important when you're buying a guitar, if you're a novice, take somebody with you who knows about them, and don't give in to the sort of bullshit you sometimes get from guitar shops. Not always. I know some very nice people who serve in guitar shops who are very straight, but there are other people who will try and sell you anything, and I've seen those as well. So don't be put off by hype. Get what feels good and what sounds good. Okay, that's enough from me on that topic, and I will now talk about my own guitar collection, and I'm going to start off with a guitar called an Otwin Harmony, which I first encountered in 1965. Right, this is the Otwin Harmony. This one was built in 1961. It's not the one I bought in 1965, because I sold that after about a year to buy my Epiphone Texan, which I then played for the next 40 years. But this is an exact copy of it. It's the same guitar, basically. And I bought it because I spotted it on eBay a few years ago and thought, wow, that's an Otwin Harmony. It's like the old guitar I used to have all those years ago. And it was going for about 100 quid. It's all original, the tuners, everything, the tailpiece, the bridge, it was all original. I bought it for £100, and I bought a Kent Armstrong Slimbucker to go on here, and a very nice ebony, streaked ebony pickguard from a store in New Jersey, which I found on the internet. And I put those on, a nice chicken head volume control on it. And this is my Otwin Harmony made in 1961, which sounds quite nice. That's a very acceptable sound. I'm playing this, by the way, as I am with the other guitars, through a Roland Mobile Cube amp, which you can't see, it's down here. And so I'm just using it to demonstrate the electric sound of some of the guitars. That's quite nice, isn't it? And I use Elixir NanoWeb 12s on this, nickel coated 12s. And I bought these strings when I first got the guitar. I don't play it that much. I play it in the occasional jazz gig. But as I say, I bought it for a nostalgia and memory, really. But I really like it. The guitar was made by Otmar Windisch, who was an East German maker. There were lots of Czechoslovakian luthiers in Germany before the Second World War, and after the Second World War, when Germany was partitioned, some stayed in West Germany, like Hofner and similar makers, I think Levin, and poor old Otmar Windisch was stuck in East Germany, and they made these archtop guitars. One of the reasons that these guitars were popular in the UK was because in those days, in the 1950s and the 1960s, it's very difficult to get a good American guitar. Fenders and Gibsons and Martins were unheard of. So you had to buy what you could. And unless you had a friend who could bring one back from the States for you, or you had loads of money and could go to a really good music shop, you had to make do with what there was. So makes like Levin and Framus and Hofner and Otwin, and two English firms, Burns and Watkins, also made guitars. That's what we used to have to play because we couldn't get hold of anything better in those days. Okay, that's the Otwin, and I'll be showing more of the body on the camera later. Right, let's take a look at the Otwin. Here's the headstock with a printed Otwin Harmony logo. And the fretboard, it's a little bit old and beaten up these days, but it's quite straight and flat. It's a 21 fret neck, joining the body at the 14th fret. Here's the pick guard that I bought and the Seymour Duncan pickup. There's my chicken head volume control, F-holes and bridge. You can see the sunburst on the body, and a very, very simple tailpiece indeed. Here are the tuners on the back of the guitar. They're all original. Here's a very thick C-profile neck joining onto the body. You can see it's a bit beaten up at the back here. That's the way it was when I got it, and it's obviously seen some life. Well, this guitar is what brought me back after about 30 years of electric playing, brought me back into acoustic playing. I mentioned earlier on that I had an Epiphone Texan, which is a very nice guitar, kind of cheaper version of the Gibson J45 made in Kalamazoo. And I didn't play that guitar for a long time, and the cedar top went dead. Basically, it died. All guitars don't age well, some age better than others. And there was a crack in the brace down here, or in the body of the guitar, which gave a buzz on the bass string, and I wasn't happy with it. I walked into a shop in Worthing called Guitar Junction, run by a chap called Dave, and spotted this Martin on a stand, and thought, oh, that looks nice. I was taken by the fingering work around the sound hole. So I said, can I try it? And he said, yeah. So I picked it up. And I thought, wow, that sounds lovely. It's clear, it rings, sounds wonderful. How much will you take for my Epiphone Texan to buy this guitar? So he looked at the old Texan and he looked at this and he said, straight swap. Okay. Now I knew that the Texan was probably worth double the price of this. This is a Martin XC1T Ellipse, is the correct name of this guitar. But I didn't care. I had to have it, so we did the swap. Now the thing about this guitar is it's basically made by Martin as a travel guitar, and it's meant to withstand the elements. You can play it outside, you can play it on a damp evening. You don't worry about it because though it's got a nice ebony fretboard and a nice spruce top, the back and sides are high pressure laminate HPL, which is a bit like Formica. There you have it. And the neck is Stratobond, which is veneers of birch glued together and pressed together, and it's incredibly rigid, and the guitar is incredibly robust. It stays absolutely true in its neck relief, and so on. The intonation, the action, everything about it is absolutely spot on. And the great thing is that because it's constructed the way it is, it has no what we call sweet spots really for recording. You can put a microphone virtually anywhere and you'll almost get the same kind of response from it. So if I'm doing a recording for YouTube where say I'm playing my tenor guitar or a mandolin and I want a backing track, this is the guitar that I tend to use because it records absolutely beautifully. And also if I'm playing out at a garden party out in the fresh air, or I'm playing in a pub which is a bit robust, shall we say, bits of beer here and there and people jogging here and so on, this guitar, absolutely perfect, can stand anything really. It's acoustic now, at the moment I'm playing it acoustically. It did have the Ellipse microphone cum pizzo combination inside it, which I didn't like, because it was a bit cheaply made, a bit crackly, a bit crappy. So I had that taken out, and I've now got a Baggs I-beam installed in here, and you can hear what the... Let's turn it up. A little bit more tone, I think, because I'll be using it for the Otwin. Let's give it a bit more treble. That's what it sounds like. Try it with the pick. That's not bad. It's not bad. So that's my Martin XC1T Ellipse, which I bought new in 2006. Right, here's the Martin headstock with black closed tuners. The nut is made of a material by DuPont called Corian. The fretboard itself has got no dots in it, and it's made of Richlite, which is a kind of paper compound used in furniture and other things. So it's quite an interesting guitar. Here's the koa and other woods sound hole. Note the scuffing on the spruce top. That's my problem. Here's the back of it. You can see the birch bond veneers making the neck here all the way down to where it meets the body, the 14th fret. And here's the back of it, showing the high pressure laminate kind of decoration that they've used there. That's quite interesting. Right, well the last two guitars had an Otwin name on the headstock and a Martin name on the headstock, respectively. The next three, starting with this one, were made by a local luthier called Ian Chisholm, who lives not far from me in Sussex, in the south of England. And we first met over 40 years ago playing in a band in London, and Ian was making guitars even then. We met up again in 2006, and I saw him playing this guitar in a pub. He'd made it himself. It's number 18. I think he's now up to about number 60 or something, but I call this number 18. It's a mid-jumbo made of Indian rosewood and spruce, mahogany neck, and so on and so forth. Very nice guitar, and I heard him play it several times, and when he said to me one day, I think I'll sell this, I think it took me about 4 or 5 seconds to say, I'm having it. And I bought it. Sold my Larrivee to buy it because I was just so impressed with the tone. I can play it finger style. But I use it mainly for sessions in pubs. I go to folk sessions and play along. Tremendously powerful, got lots of projection and lots of volume, and those are the sorts of things that I look for in a guitar. So that's number 18, which I find incredibly nice to play. That's the first 6-string guitar that I bought from Ian. Along to the next one. Right, here's the snake head that Ian uses for his guitars. There's a dot at the 7th fret, I think, a dot at the 12th fret, and a dot at the 15th or 16th fret. This is a 20 fret guitar. There's the body. I had a clear pickguard put on to stop me doing any more damage to the face of the guitar. And there's the whole body. Here's the back of the headstock showing the black tuners. V profile is what I like, and that's what Ian has got on this guitar neck. And here's the back, which is very nice Indian rosewood, been book matched with, I think, a maple stripe down the middle. Very handsome indeed. Right, the first 6-string guitar that I commissioned from Ian was this. I'm not counting my tenor guitar, which is not included in this video at the moment. 6-string guitar, I felt the need for a smaller body guitar, which I could fingerpick mainly. So I spoke to Ian about it, and he said, I've got a 1900 and whatever it is Martin hanging on my wall. O model, O body, would you like me to make one of those? So I said yes. And the great thing is that I saw the whole guitar being built from beginning to end. I got to choose the wood. So one day we set out in my car to a specialist timber supplier in Tonbridge in Kent in the south of England. Downstairs there were huge blocks of trees and huge pieces of wood for furniture restorers and makers to buy. And upstairs in a kind of mezzanine were luthier's sets. So I chose a back and sides of beautiful Cocobolo. You'll see it in more detail later, but that's it. It's absolutely stunning wood. It's iron hard. It's wonderful wood. When you do the sides, when you bend the sides in the steamer, all this black resin comes out and it becomes incredibly dry and incredibly hard. Hear that? That's incredibly... And it's very light. It's wonderful wood. The face is spruce. The tuners are snakewood. I don't know if you can see those Waverleys with snakewood, lovely. Slotted headstock. The ebony fretboard I chose has got slight orange streaks in it, which I think is lovely. Furniture makers won't have that. They call it grade 2 or second grade. They want perfectly black ebony, but I quite like that little streak going up the fretboard there, so I bought that. Nice Egyptian style bridge there. And there you have it. That's this is number 35, and it was finished, started in 2010 and finished in 2011, and it's a great little guitar. I absolutely love it to death. When I first had it brought to me from Ian, it was a little bit dry and a little bit thin, as all new guitars are. And with playing over the years, it took about 6 months, I think, to about a year for it to flower, for it to expand and grow, and the wood to loosen up and everything. And now it's just so much volume. Wonderful stuff. I've actually got a K&K pickup in this, which you can't see, which is a great pickup, and I can actually play it through an amplifier if I want to, so I'll just demonstrate that briefly. Just plug in. turn up. So it's now got the K&K pickup working. That's a K&K pickup. Switch this off. The Martin guitar and number 18, I use 12 gauge phosphor bronze nano web elixir strings. This one I use 11 gauge, it's slightly lighter strings, and they're not phosphor bronze, they're the ordinary just plain bronze acoustic strings. I find them a bit easier to play on this particular fretboard. So that's my lovely Cocoa Bowler guitar, Ian Chisholm's number 35. Here we have the slotted headstock of the Cocoa Bowler guitar. Very wide nut, that, made from tusk, I think. There's the ebony fretboard with the orange streak in it, the yellow streak. No dots on this. Very nice. That black thing you can see there is my tuner. That's a secret. There's the Egyptian style bridge with some nice dots in it, in the pegs. And here's the back, showing the snakewood Waverley tuners, maple and ebony stripe down the back of the old wardrobe. And here's the lovely Cocoa Bowler back, which I talked about before, which looks very, very nice indeed. Lovely stuff. And the next guitar is this flat top, semi-acoustic, hollow-bodied electric acoustic guitar made for me by Ian Chisholm. And the reason I got this is twofold really. I'd been playing a G&L Assat in a band for many years. It's a lovely guitar, but you know, my back with age was not quite what it used to be, over 70 now, and the Assat was quite heavy. And I thought, I'm going to sell it and get something different, something lighter. Simultaneously, I discovered in a drawer this de-armoured pickup, which I bought in the 1960s. I can't remember when. And I used to clip this across the sound hole of my Epiphone Texan to amplify it. And I found the pickup and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to design a guitar around the pickup? So I listed the things I wanted for my new guitar to be. I wanted the Martin body shape because I found that incredibly comfy. That's a really nice body shape to play for me, okay, with a nice curved cutaway. I wanted a fretboard that was acoustic in style so I could play electric, finger picked or finger style or picking style. I wanted a Loudon style bridge, which you can see, because on stage, if you want to change a string, I couldn't be bothered with taking the peg out and all the rest of it. I can, if a string breaks now, which is rare, if a string breaks now, I can just whip the old string out, put the new string in, and I'm tuned up and ready to go in 30 seconds maximum. So it's that was what I wanted, and that's what I got. So I've got a nice maple back and sides with ebony bindings and striping, and a nice yellowing cedar top with a clear pick guard, and all the things I want. And it's as light as a feather. It's absolutely lovely to play, incredibly comfortable. I'm playing it through this Roland Mobile Cube at the moment, so it's not quite as clever as it should be, because the Cube isn't as good as my main Roland amp. But anyway. So there you are. I play this in pubs, play a bit of rock and roll on it, play a bit of blues on it, play a bit of jazz on it, play it in my Ceilidh band. It's a very versatile guitar. That's with the pick, and I can also sort of go. So there we have the Ian Chisholm electroacoustic, flat top, semi-acoustic, very thin, skinny guitar. Another snakehead headstock for the very thin guitar. White nuts. I asked for dots on this because when you're playing up the dusty end in the jazz world, it's handy to see where your fingers are. Here's the old Diarma pickup. Note the sunk B pole piece. To compensate for the kind of extra surge you get from those things. Here's a Goto tuners, looking down the neck now. Again at the 14th fret it meets the body. Here's a lovely maple back with the ebony bindings and the stripe down the middle. It's very sweet indeed. I forgot to say on that last clip of the semi-acoustic that the strings I use on that are tens, and I use phosphor bronze tens elixir nanoips, and they're just right for the style of playing that I do on that. Well, those are my guitars. Those are the questions I've tried to answer. Hope you found it interesting. If you have any queries or questions, contact me through my website or leave a comment on YouTube, and see you soon. Bye.